It's Fight Day live chat, UFC Vegas 53. Let's get the show rolling. UFC Vegas 53, obviously headlined by a bantamweight. I guess it's a catchweight fight now, considering that Rob Font missed weight. He came in at 138.5 pounds yesterday morning. Gets fined 20% of his purse. That obviously goes to Marlon Vera. Yeah, interesting that he missed weight for the first time in his professional MMA career. Very sketchy. Has me a little bit spooked. Although I didn't have a bet on the fight before the weigh-ins, I wasn't going to have a bet on the fight after the weigh-ins anyway. So it didn't swing my prediction over to Marlon Vera either. I'm still going to be picking Rob Font. I think he is the much better fighter. I'm interested to see what a 5-round Marlon Vera looks like, but I do think that it's a little bit overblown considering everybody's saying he gets stronger that the fight goes on. Sure, but we'll also have to look at the level of competition he's been going up against and who he's been getting stronger against as fights start to go on. So yeah, Rob Font, it did look like he was slowing down against Jose Aldo in his last 5-round fight, but I do think that was in large part to do with um, Jose Aldo rocking him and hurting him earlier in that fight. That definitely wears on you, right? And that makes you more hesitant. That slows you down. That stresses you out some more. So it is a big concern if Chito Vera is able to clip him, hurt and drop him, rock him, all these types of things. I just don't think he has the power to do so, right? Marlon Vera is more so of an accumulative striking type of finisher, right? He's not a one punch knockout kind of guy. So if he does clip, drop, and hurt Rob Font, then things will get shaky the longer that the fight goes for Rob Font. But if it's not an injury for Rob Font, if it's just a miscalculation in terms of his weight cut, I think he'll be okay for the remainder for the full 25 minutes, and I think we'll see a classic Font performance. Now, in terms of my bets, my official bets for tonight, no lock of the night play once again. It's been a couple of events now where I've had no lock of the night, but I was running through a little bit of a rough stretch. Thankfully, I bucked that trend this past event last week. With the dub. Let me just quickly go over it again. Transparency 101. That's what we're all about. So since what was it? Good God. Santos versus Ankalaev, March 12th was the last legit profitable event where I had several plays, cashed on all of them. Then it was the Volkov Aspinall fight where I was down 2.32 units. Blades Dawkins, I believe that was the last event where I had a lock of the night play. That was minus 4.85 units, losing on 2 bets there. Got clean swept by on UFC 273, even to the point that Pure Yan lost, and he was a part of one of my parlays. No lock of the night play there, but still got clean swept there. Reverse minus 5.2. Then the next event, Luke Muhammad 2, just under a unit loss. So not as bad as the previous events. But then last time around, plus 2.84 units on the Lemos and Andrade card. I went, 3-1 on bets that night. I need to continue to build up the momentum because that was the last event that I hit my L on was like the lowest point I've been in a long time, and it sucked. It really sucked. I had a lot of stuff going on as well in terms of like visiting in-laws and all that stuff, and not trying to get fights spoiled for myself. So it's been a very weird April for your boy, but hopefully I can cap it off well here with a nice win. Yeah, with a nice win and continue this hopefully continuing this trend of being in the positive. So we'll see how that goes. All right. Let's see what the chat is saying. Oh, sorry, what my bets are for tonight. Let me do that real quick and then we'll get into the chat here, which is pretty much the main purpose of this podcast. Let me just wet the whistle real quick. All right. We'll go with the highest. Oh, weird. I'm not sure why it has this bet down twice for me, but let me just see if I can quickly get that fixed. 1 sec. I just want to do this real quick before I forget about it and give my guy on Bet MMA Tips enough heads up. Sorry guys, just bear with me 1 second. I wish I could play some like waiting music, some elevator music for you guys, so I can just quickly get this done with. Whoop, there we go. All right. All right. We'll go from biggest bet to smallest bet. Biggest bet that I have, not a lock of the night play, like I said, but it's a 3 unit bet on Christoph Jotko over Gerald Mearshart. I got him at minus 172. Think he goes out there and has a classic Jotko performance, touches Mearshart up on the feet, stuffs takedowns, um, maybe uses some clinch time against the cage. He's been very good in those positions, really controlling his opponents and just getting some dirty boxing, some dirty knees in there, and just controlling his opponents. So I'm expecting Jotko to win that fight. Then we'll go to a 1.1 unit play on the Francisco Figueredo and Daniel Lucerta fight doesn't go to decision. That's at 1.1 units at minus 106. Um, yeah, I'm expecting pure violence in that fight. Pure violence, yeah. Daniel Lucerna never seen a third round in his professional MMA career, which I believe now spans. I believe it spans almost 11 fights now. Let me just quickly confirm that as well for you guys. Uh, Daniel Lacerda. There's so many Daniel De Silvas and Daniel Lacerdas out there that it's very weird. Now apparently he's changed his name to Daniel Miojo De Silva. Like, come on, make up your name. Yeah, or make up your mind with your name. 13 professional fights, never seen the third round. I expect that to continue here. Either he gets the early finish or he eventually gets on or sorry, yeah, he gasses out trying to finish Figueredo, and then Figueredo probably finishes him later. Now, Figueredo, not a great gas tank guy himself, but I do think he has enough power to take care of the crippled De Silva, especially when he gets into round two, because good God, that guy's gas tank is absolutely horrible. Then I have two 1 unit plays. We'll go with the dog of the night first. I got 1 unit on Jared Gordon at plus 165. I think he beats Grant Dawson. Gives up the first round, so you can possibly even do a live betting thing here by taking Jared Gordon at plus 200 or better on the live line going into round two. But I do think he'll eventually start to stuff the takedowns of Grant Dawson, touch him up on the feet, maybe even get some good top pressure of his own. I think his submission defense is good enough to deal with Dawson on the mat. But then eventually, as the fight starts to wear on, I think he starts to wear on Grant Dawson. Maybe gets a finish in the third round, but probably takes home a decision victory. And then lastly, taking a flyer here on Carlos Candelario, 1 unit at plus 198. I think he gives a rude awakening to Tetsuro Taira in his UFC debut. 22-year-old kid taking a huge step up in competition. I just don't think that Taira should be minus 250, minus 260. Let's see if Carlos Candelario can prove me right. All right, let's see what the live chat is saying here. My guy El Pasanumba, Paso number one, starting off with lame. Love it. Charlie Man saying it's one. I believe I started at 1 o'clock, so I apologize. Aaron Mei Xing probably nailed that name. Saying last PFL card was so predictable. Hopefully, I can get some insight on tonight's card. It's 11 a.m. Skoden. There you go. Joshua Frick saying, "Lock my dude, I always barely miss linking up with you on John's show." Exactly. I think we always go like one after the other, which is hilarious. But one day we'll get on together, my man. I appreciate it. Jared Curry in the chat saying, "Let's make some coin today. That would be great." Rob in the chat, appreciate you stopping by, my friend. Captain K Beck saying, "Good afternoon, man. Let's win some money." That was always the goal. Shout out to my guy Southpaw Picks in the chat as well. Jared Curry saying, "I saw someone mention that Vera's consistent stance switching can make establishing that jab a bit harder for Font. Super excited for that fight as a fan." We'll see. Like I do like if we watch the Jose Aldo and even the Davy Grant fight, especially the first rounds, you see just putting constant pressure on his opponents with the jab, or sorry, getting constant pressure put on him. Kind of has him as a deer in headlights. If a fighter can keep that up for longer than one round, which I think Rob Font will be able to do, I think that's more than enough. So we'll see. Again, I'm still skeptical that Rob Font might have an injury coming into this fight, but we'll see. Sean V saying fought no power, couldn't even kick. Again, I'm done with that narrative. It has no bearing on how this fight's gonna go. He touched him up for 25 minutes. That's all that matters. Dylan Oswald saying lock of the night is Gordon Dawson. Fight goes to decision. I could see that. I could see that. If Dawson's gas tank fills him tremendously, though, Gordon could possibly get a finish as well. That's the only issue there. Maybe the over 2.5 to be a little bit safer, but who knows? Cole Stein in the chat saying, what's good? Finger crossed. We cashed it. Yes, sir. Alex Gagnon saying, sack. Appreciate you stopping by. Juan Lopez saying, what's Vera most likely way to win? Decision or inside the distance? I'd say inside the distance. I think Font will be the better minute winner here. Evan L in the chat. Good luck on your bets today, man. And everyone in the chat. You as well, my friend. Kyle Kelly saying Taylor or Serrano. I am not a boxing guy whatsoever. So whatever I say about that matchup, don't take anything from it, which is why I'm not going to say anything about that matchup. I know nothing about them other than they're probably two of the best female boxers in the world right now. That's all I know. Andrew Marchenko in the chat. Appreciate you stopping by. He's saying, I have a feeling that Font just can't score well on DK. If he wins, it will only be a jab to death decision. Correct. I don't think that there's much that we can get from him from a DK perspective. Cody A saying best 3 fight parlay. Ooh, good question. Again, not a great card overall in terms of betting from my perspective, but if I were to give you 3 fights, I'd go Jotko, I'd go Levy, and I'd go fight doesn't go to decision for De Silva and Figueredo, if you can throw that in there. If you need another money line, I guess Mazzani. Like, I don't trust Feely. I don't trust Elkins. Romanov inside the distance, if you can get that. I'm not going to tell you to put a minus 2,500 into your goddamn parlay, but yeah, hope that helps, my friend. Evan was saying I got Vera money line and small shots around 4 and round 5. Good luck on that. Jazz in the chat. What's going on, my brother? Juan Lopez has 3 units on Taylor. Serrano is older now and has looked average in her last 3 fights. We shall see. Jazz Shergo saying classic GM3 performance, loses 14 minutes and wins. We shall see about that. It can only work so often. Captain K-Back saying my book has Jotko GM3 fight doesn't go to decision at plus 110. Grab some possible finishing upside for Jotko here, given how fragile GM3 has looked over his last several fights. But we'll see. Cold Stein saying he loves the fight, doesn't go to decision, as do I. Melind R saying I got Philly multiple parlays. Hopefully he doesn't get owned in round 1, like the mentality. He could win, but I just don't trust him at that number. Good luck, my brother. Jazz saying Philly KO and under 2.5, best spot on the card. Dirty River saying no lock of the night. Again, 3 units, not a lock of the night play, but my biggest bet on the card there on Jotko. Juan Lopez likes Gordon as well. I like to hear that. MPTV in the chat. Appreciate you stopping by. Rex Lee in the chat. That's my guy right there. Ride or die right there. Love my guy Rex. Uncle Weezy looking to stack him high today. Let's get a lock. Time to eat. Love you, Uncle. Love you, love you, love you. I know I've been talking about lining you up for a show. Might have to get it done in the next 2 weeks or so. I'll hit you up. MPTV saying I still can't get over that suspect PFL pre-taped debacle. Yeah, I don't think they're ever going to do that again. Glad I cashed out on it, though. Mitch Wheeler saying thoughts on Gina Mazzani and Shanna Young fight. Can't trust Gina. This stylistically great fight for her. She should go out there. She should be able to land takedowns. She should grind her way to a win. I don't think Young presents much issues in terms of making her work, causing her to gas out. But I can't get the Priscilla Cachoeira fight out of my mind. I can't get the Lena Landsberg fight out of my mind. I think she won that fight, but even just how gassed out she was in that fight, I just can't get over it. Very tough tobacco fighter at minus 180 who has a history like that, but she should win. She should win. I am still picking her to win this fight. Builds Mafia in the chat feel like forever since I've seen you last year. He's saying a lot of live dogs on here. I absolutely agree. Let me just quickly count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, at least 9 live dogs. And wow, Rob Font down to minus 115 now. If he hits plus money at some of my books, I might end up taking the shot there. But yeah, I still think that Font deserves to be the slight favorite in the spot. MPTV saying Cheeto had an answer for O'Malley's hands. He could have an answer for Font's jab. The question is, what does Font do when the jab doesn't work? Again, the O'Malley thing, very difficult to put too much stock into that fight, considering the injury that O'Malley suffered in that fight, because it was one-way traffic up until that moment, right? I won't take too much from that. Yeah. If Font's jab doesn't work, will he wrestle? I just think that would tax his cardio too much. We'll see. We'll see. Vinny in the chat. Appreciate you stopping by. Jeffrey Korngold, disagree with Love. No, that's not all that matters when you need to bring it back to the cage to finish Cheeto. You don't need to exactly. I don't think the plan is to finish Cheeto. I think the plan is to go out there and do what Font does and put numbers on dudes. Jazz Sergio saying sprinkle on the draw for Taylor Serrano. I could see some fishy business happening there with the scorecards, considering how big those names are. Not a bad look for my guy Jazz. Bills Mafia saying thoughts on Jotko GM3 fight. I think that this is I think that I think Jocko wins. That's why I have 3 units on him on the money line here. Now I know a lot of people are saying to take the decision prop rather than the chalk on Jotko, but I'm not counting out a possible finishing opportunity for him. I think he's the much better striker. He's not a big power puncher, but I do think that GM3's durability continues to wane. He has a long career. He's taken a tremendous amount of damage. Jotko's the faster fighter, the better striker. If he lands the shot to put GM3 down, he could possibly put him out. So yeah, GM3's winning condition, I think, is just via sub, which I think currently sits around plus 300. So if you did take the chalk on Jotko, but you're a little bit hesitant, that's not a bad hedge at all on GM3 by sub. But I think that's his only way to win this fight. Give me Jotko money line. Tristan, appreciate you stopping by, my friend. Saying the fight start. Well, he's on the West Coast, so the fight start at 1:30 for you. Lucky you. Steve saying Vera going to clinch and fuck up his leg TKO. Possibility. Robot Chicken Wings saying Jazz, don't hold your breath. Shotco won't gas for that GM3 moment. I hope so. I hope you're right. Juan Lopez, Jose Aldo did a great job at using his pressure to smother Font's jab. I think Cheeto can do it as well, but maybe not as successfully. I think the big difference there is the power difference between Aldo and Cheeto. Like Aldo was landing and he was dropping Font. I think when Cheeto lands, I don't know if he'll drop or hurt Font that often. And we've seen it when there's pressure and output put on Cheeto Vera, he kind of looks like a deer in headlights at times. So if Font can keep it up, I like it. MPTV saying Levy is a fraud. Breeder is going to expose him with the split decision. Again, I'm not big on Levy, but I still do think that this is a solid spot for him to beat a fighter like Breeden, who I don't really think deserves to be in the UFC. Doughboy Nasty saying Collier via KO round 3 plus 750. Pretty juicy for a half a unit shot. Good luck, man. I don't know if I see it. I don't know if I see that happening. Labyrinth saying I could see this fight being a boring point fight win for Font, but I have a feeling this will be a banger. Close fight and Vera thrives in a war. Yeah, if it's a war, definitely benefits Cheeto more than it does Font. I'm excited for it. That's why I think I don't want to have any action on it, because it could turn into something crazy. Jared Curry saying I think Levy isn't great, but I don't think Breeden is the guy to expose him. I agree. Andrew Marchenko saying, I can't recall any good performance by Gordon outside of beating on a fully gassed Danny Chavez fight. Outside of cardio, he has no advantages over Dawson. I think his submission defense is good enough to deal with whatever Dawson brings to the table there. I think his striking is better than Dawson's. And I think his cardio is better than Dawson's as well. He's a solid fighter. Like the Joe Selecki fight was a great fight for him as well, right? A lot of people thought that he was going to go out there and get subbed. Now, I get it. Dawson is a better wrestler than what Joe Selecki brought to the table. So maybe you have better success getting the fight to the ground. But in terms of pure jiu-jitsu, I think Joe Selecki is a better jiu-jitsu player than Grant Dawson, and we saw how Jared Gordon dealt with that. Steve said, "Good luck with knocking out Arlovsky. Unless your name is Francis Ngannou, Jairzinho Rosenstrike, one of those big names, I don't think you're knocking out Andre Arlovsky." And I love Jared or Jake Collier. You guys know me. Robot Chicken Wings saying Font is going to work Cheeto. I hope so. Sahil saying her early pick for Gaethje Oliveira. I lean Oliveira there. I'm going to start working on that probably tomorrow for those breakdowns. Dylan Oswald saying Romanov round 1 or 2 KOs plus 140 on FanDuel. I feel like Sherman will just cover up and the ref steps in unless it's Herb. Is it plus 140? Because that would be a steal and a half if that's the case. If you guys have FanDuel, I would load up on that. Uncertainty saying Memprior on Font or Vera. I'm picking Font, but no bet for me there. Again, the weight miss does have me a little bit concerned in terms of maybe a possible injury for him, but even pre-fight, right? I was picking Font, but I'm giving Cheeto his respect to not bet against him in this spot. But Font should win this fight. I think he's much more skilled than him. Jack, appreciate you stopping by saying I made it live, man. Just cooked pizza and going to listen to you. Good luck tonight. Yes, sir. Jazz saying disappointed you're not taking Collier. It's only right you missed out on dog odds tonight when you're on the other side. Yeah, I'm picking Arlovsky, but no bet there. But yeah, if this goes the full 15, I could see Arlovsky squeaking on another split here. We'll see how it goes. Jared Curry saying these fights are so hard to bet. A whole lot of movable objects and stoppable forces. Exactly. That is the best way to put it for this card. Movable objects versus stoppable forces. Bang on right there. Jared Curry, if you are on Twitter, tweet that shit out and I will retweet that. And tag me in it, by the way. Doughboy Nasty saying Aldo has amazing takedown defense and Font got him down in the first when they were fresh. Cheeto does get taken down a lot. Font could wrestle a lot. My only concern is how that taxes his gas tank, especially with him having to go a full 25 minutes if he needs to. Cheeto's very difficult to put away. I'll give him that. So a mix of his striking with wrestling could work out. Kaushik Surian stopping by. Appreciate you stopping by. Tugger Nuts saying, I fucking love Tristan Connolly here. All week I've been looking at that line and still haven't put a bet in. I see why he's live. I absolutely see why he's live. Jared Curry, Font could shoot frequently, but wrestling grappling cardio is different than jab clinic cardio. Exactly. Jeffrey saying his flight is about to take off. Good luck tonight, my friend. Zach Johnson says, I think it's going to be a war. I agree. Mitch Wheeler saying, thoughts on Grant Dawson getting a takedown in round 1. It's a prop I can take here in Australia. Do you guys have props like that in America, Canada? I know there's a couple states that actually offer like takedown props, but I think that's a good bet to take. I think he'll hit at least a takedown in round 1. From Fresno saying, do you do prize picks? So I used to do prize picks, but now they've outlawed it where I'm at here in Ontario, Canada. So I don't have as much will to go out and do it as much anymore. But yeah. I used to love it though. I used to love prize picks. I'm hoping that they open something up similar to that here in Ontario once again, because I love those types of sites. Alex C saying, let's go breed in my big underdog. Cheeto shouldn't be no underdog. Good luck on both of those bets, my friend. Evan L saying, yeah, I really like this main event. Have a feeling it's going to be a get banger. I agree. Jeffrey saying, what is with Illinois wanted me to drive to fucking East St. Louis to activate DraftKings? I don't know what it is, but I'm glad that I don't have to go anywhere to place any of my bets. I can do it from the comfort of my home. Kenny Williams saying, hi, Manpreet. Which fights on the card do you think goes the distance for sure? See, there's never any sureness, but fights that I could see going the distance, Mazzani Young, Breeden Levy, Jotko Mearshart. That one I'm a little bit skeptical about, though. Just saying. Elkins Connolly, I think that's a back and forth grappling match for the full 15 minutes. Dawson Gordon, I can see going the 15 minutes. Feely Brito, Arlovsky Collier, that one is for sure going the 15 minutes, I think. So in terms of like the ones that I'm most certain will go 15 minutes, Arlovsky Collier, Elkins Connolly, Um, Mazzani Young, and Breed and Levy. Feel quite certain that those would go the distance. Dylan Oswald saying, yeah, just double check this plus 140. Man, that's a damn good line. I would take that because I swear I saw it's Romanov round one is minus 190. That's crazy. That you're getting plus 140 on him to win round one or two, plus 140. Andrew Marchenko saying Cross was yelling his lungs out of the minute to keep out of position over submission when he fought Rosa. I feel like Dawson can go just take Gordon down every round and lay heavy on him without trying subs. Possibility. But Dawson's with the American Top Team now, right? And I think it was Minner against Elkins where he was telling him to go position over submission. And then he went for the guillotine and then ended up paying for it and getting finished by Darren Elkins. But remember, Dawson's with American Top Team now. Romanov KO in round 1 or 2 is plus 140. I got to get on that. That is a ridiculous line. Again, he could go for, you know what it is? I think they're actually banking on him to go for submissions more than KO. So maybe that's why. Well, we'll see. Joshua Frick locked $25 on Sherman round 3 is bad money. 60 to 1. 60 to 1, I'd take that. I don't care to see that $5 again for 60 to 1. And we know that Romanov has had cardio issues in the past. So I don't think Sherman's the guy to expose him, but we'll see. 007 saying Connolly or Elkins. I lean Elkins, but I think that Connolly is the better side betting wise. He's going to make it close. I do think it goes to 15 minutes, and I think the fight goes to decision is around minus 180. Let me just quickly confirm that number. Minus 185. I would rather take the fight goes to decision. I do think it's going to be back and forth. I don't think either guy gets a finish here. All right, let me just take these last couple questions here, then I'll drop the totals parlay for you guys here. Sorry, I'm just quickly seeing just trying to see if there's anything that I haven't touched on yet. All right. Let's get into the totals parlay for you guys. I'm going to get on out of here. Mazzani Young over 2.5. De Silva Figueredo under 2.5. Elkins Connolly over 2.5. Brito Feely over 2.5. And Arlovsky Collier over 2.5. There's your totals parlay that I'm going to be going with tonight. I believe it comes out to plus 900-ish or something like that, maybe a little bit more than that. But yeah, only a 5-legger here. Hopefully it ends up hitting. Once again, Gina Mazzani, Shana Young over 2.5. Daniel De Silva and Francisco Figueiredo under 2.5. Darren Elkins, Tristan Connolly over 2.5. Joe Anderson, Brito, and Andre Feely over 2.5. Andre Arlovsky, Jay Collier over 2.5. All right. Appreciate the love. Appreciate the support. Hit that like on the way out if you guys can for me. Good luck on the bets tonight. I won't be watching them live. I'm actually going to be going out and getting some nature time at 4:30. But when I get back, I'll be catching up on the fights tonight. Enjoy the fights, and I'll catch you guys next week for the big UFC 274 big content week coming up. Coach's main event marathon, episode 4, I believe it is now. So that's going to be dropping on Tuesday. Make sure you guys check that shit out. Who am I having on this time? I think it's Kraus, Tyson Chartier, and Cody Donovan. Those are the 3 guys that are going to be breaking down the main event for me. Actually, the main event and co-main event, since we have 2 title fights kicking it off for you guys. All right. Appreciate you guys. Love the support as always. Good luck on your bets tonight, and I'll see you guys next week.